Welcome back. Yes, as you've seen, we've got Mr. Bolaji Ogunseye here with us. He's a development economist and also a sustainable development expert. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, focusing again on this challenge that we do have with states, much as, yes, they receive the bailout funds, but there's always that challenge about how they use it. But, you know, some think most importantly is the challenge and capacity of the states to sustain themselves, such as do basic things as paying salaries. Do you think that with this stark reality staring us in the face, we're taking it as a wake-up call to do what we need to do?
Well, I mean, you have to ask, at what time in Nigeria do we not have a wake-up call to do the right thing? So I think it's not the absence of wake-up calls. I think we have it virtually every month on something or the other. I think it's rather the absence of a will. You know, I don't know whether I should say will to succeed, because
they don't have will to pay salaries in the states or generate funds to pay salaries?
Well, I mean, look, this what I'm saying is because the way the system is arranged, there's almost an embedded incapacity to, every time we want to do something, the way forks into two. It goes left, it goes right. And we've become, as a society and government, adept at turning in the wrong direction. It's very often it's not very hard. Anybody could have figured that at least some governors are going to play smart with that money. Why? Because this is what we've seen all along. So it's not rocket science. So you'd have said, why didn't the federal government itself? Of course, I understand there are the jurisdictional peculiarities of this system. Now, yes, the state governor is also been elected. It's a three-tier system. Each one is autonomous and all these things, you know. But there should have been, for instance, something as simple as that. Before the states get the money, the federal government has the upper hand, even though it's supposed to be it's their money technically, right? Why doesn't the federal government say you have to open a separate independent account to receive these monies, and you advise them and you put them in the court of the public opinion. Let the media, everybody write about it. You keep that money under the logic of a separate accounting. And that civil society groups, media, we have FOI, Freedom of Information Law, will have the right to ask, you know, how are you spending this money? Not only that, too many things are opaque. The federal government should be saying, look, this is what Bauchi State is owing in terms of salaries, up to so much money. This is the quantum of that money. This is how much we are giving you. Make sure that it balances out. But so when you give it to them, everybody's excellency, Buhari is excellency, every governor is excellency, nobody can control the other.
But does it really,
that's where we are.
Does it really matter? Because what the president said was that 75% of that should be used for salaries. Does it apply that there's a blanket for every state that you must use 75% of that to settle salaries and issues like that, when other states vary? Because some states have been able to pay as much as all their salaries. Some are owing just maybe 2 months, some are owing 6 months, some are owing 13 months.
All of them are owing. If you had pensions, see, because it's not just salaries, it's pensions.
So if they pay, using the funds that is given to them, if they use that to pay and they have a backlog, they could plow it into something else, don't you think?
Don't even go to having backlogs first. Let's stay with paying the thing that is outstanding. Look, it is a criminal offense. It's a criminal action that governments across Nigeria are committing by not paying pension. You know, this is like I put money in First Bank for 25 years, and I save up after some time. You pay me that money in tranches of 40,000 a month. If First Bank does that, or any other bank, would they not be subject to DICON arrest, EFCC? Why is the government? It's a criminal offense because pensions are not government dash. They are not government largesse. This is my money that I've saved with and through government over 25, 35 years. I don't even have interest on it. Some people can steal 70-something billion out of it and get to pay 750,000 naira. And then the people, it is a criminal action by the government of this country at every level. Pensions must be paid. They are some people's savings. Because you see, we've made it now, we've forged it. So they say, oh, this government is very nice. This governor has just paid money. No, he's paying back what he has owed.
What is fueling this thing? Is it that same corruption that we've always talked about?
Oh, no, it's not corruption. It's because we are very nice. We're all very holy, sweetness and light. You're asking me that question?
But of course.
Corruption in
you have
governance,
to make an explanation.
corruption of capacity, corruption in procedure, corruption in intent. Intent. The people who can help this country have not been allowed to go close to power because they don't know how to get power. Many of them are scared they're in their homes. Those who know how to get power, who understand these things, can't and won't help the country. Majority of them. Okay? So you have 180 million people are trapped
but we need to change.
in between.
That needs to change.
Yes. This cynical matrix, we need to change it. And this is where civil society should come in. I mean, I want to cry that we do not have an engaged, a powerful civil society dynamics,
Mr. Ogunseye,
energy within the Nigerian governance system.
if I may come in here, since you brought up the issue of civil society,
Yes.
maybe we should look at that a bit, because Labour has, we're reading the papers, Labour has just told the federal government, no more bailout. I mean, don't give the third tranche of the Paris refund.
To those who haven't done what they should do.
To those who haven't done, don't give. And indeed, don't give that 50% that they're asking for. Don't give it to the governors. That's what Labour has told the federal government. But now you've talked about a civil society, an involved civil society. We're not talking about non-governmental organizations now.
Yes.
I want to assume you're talking about Nigerians generally. Everybody get involved and get this going.
Groups with public good interest. Public good for the public interest. Okay?
Okay. Now, how would that work? You talked about the Freedom of Information law that we have.
Yes.
And there are very few who have tried to use that law, and it hasn't really worked for them because they have to go the processes and all of that. You mentioned corruption of processes, corruption of intent. How would all of this work into the mix?
I think first you have to have a kind of consensus to govern well and properly. I mean, that sounds like an innocuous,
Sounds utopian.
innocent statement. Now it's tough. Even within a department, sometimes you have maybe one quarter who really want to do the right thing the right way at the right time. Then you have 3/4 who want to steal, who want to do something else. If you have a government, and I'm not trying to say, if it was up to me, governments in Nigeria themselves should be putting out the lines, the ropes that the civil society can come and vet me, come and audit me, and this and this and this are the things I want you to look out for.